Allow your awareness to soften. Invite a long, gentle breath. Sense the universe as a living presence around you, flowing through you, holding you in an endless field of intelligence and care. You move in that vastness, and that vastness moves in you. Welcome. I am C.S. Douglas, and this is Codex Æternum, the rational Bible, a testament to a phronopsychic cosmos, an intelligent and conscious universe that speaks through elements, through cycles, and through the quiet knowledge of your own self.
This program is endorsed by Authorpedia, the world's only encyclopedia exclusively dedicated to authors, a living archive where writers and thinkers are immortalized through literature. Visit authorpedia.org and become part of our enduring legacy.
We remain within Book 19, a revelation of the fall and the rising. In Chapter 6, the wrath of the cosmos, and we now enter Section 6.2, the waters that wash away the stain. Fire reveals truth through light and heat. Water completes that revelation through movement and remembrance. The skies gather their strength. Clouds grow heavy with intention. From the deep places beneath the continents and from the high chambers of the atmosphere, water begins its journey. Rivers swell beyond their narrow banks. Seas extend their reach toward forgotten lines of shore. Rain arrives with the authority of something ancient, as if the very memory of the earth flows through each drop. The planet exhales. The waters answer. They move through cities raised without reverence, through corridors designed for profit and supremacy. They erase borders drawn for greed and straighten avenues built as monuments to control. Walls that once appeared unshakable yield to the steady insistence of the flood. Streets that carried endless traffic disappear beneath churning currents. Statues, pedestals, fences, all join the great motion of dissolution. An old teaching rises with the tide. A civilization once treated water as possession, trapped it in bottles, choked its wells with poison, turned sacred springs into contracts. For a time, that civilization believed that water belonged to its laws, yet water carries its own law. Water remembers, so the rivers return with purposeful flow. They lift away the coverings from hidden vaults, reveal barrels of decay, open chambers of corruption, carry to the surface the graves of silence that officials once tried to bury beneath concrete and distraction. The great storms sweep through the heavy sky. They peel away the layers that smothered the land. Coastlines change shape. Cliffs break in new places. Harbors transform. The age of fixed edges gives way to an age of living contours. People run from the waters because their bodies know the power in motion. Yet the waters carry no pursuit. They continue along the path of imbalance, drawn to the places where a new rhythm must emerge. Rain falls on every roof. It touches palaces and prisons, temples and factories. It blesses the humble heart and dissolves the arrogance of any crown that forgot its duty to life. Those who stand on high ground watch a world rewrite itself in currents and waves. Some feel grief for broken houses, for roads and machines submerged in rising brown tides. Others sense a deeper story, an earth that receives the water with relief, a soil that opens again, a planet that finally draws a full breath. Crops drift away. Asphalt splits. Engines sink and rust. The surface world rearranges, yet the earth beneath grows more supple, more ready, more alive. Silence follows the flood. Valleys appear where streets once ran. New pools shimmer in hollows freshly carved by the retreating surge. Seeds carried by wind and bird and unseen hands settle into these beds of silt and memory. Saplings root themselves along new banks. Trees drink deeply from restored water tables and lift their green prayers toward a rinsed sky. Children walk beside streams that did not exist in the maps of their parents. Their feet learn the curves of unfamiliar shores. elders sit beside newborn lakes and recall visions, warnings, prophecies carried by ancient grandmothers and grandfathers, whose voices once felt distant and now ring with unmistakable accuracy. Life realigns around flow. Communities adapt to a landscape that remembers truth. Homes rise on gentler ground. Paths follow the body of water instead of opposing it. Villages build with an ear for the sound of rain, with a heart for the direction of rivers, with a reverence for the water table that sustains every breath. The floods cleanse more than streets or walls. They cleanse names carved in arrogance, signs mounted in conquest, seals pressed for domination. The symbols of stolen wealth lose their grip on stone. Insignias of empires soften, fade, and finally release their hold on the land. Stain dissolves, residue yields. The memory of imbalance drifts downward into trenches and trenches beneath trenches, where pressure and time transform it into a lesson stored within the planet's own archive. Water carries away the weight of a wounded age, without spite, without vengeance, only with the clarity of restoration. Then the waters move on. The land gleams with wet rock and dark, fertile soil. A thin mist hangs over plains that once lay dry and exhausted. In that luminous dampness you can almost hear the earth whisper, "Begin again. Begin with greater reverence. Remember this cleansing each time you touch a glass, each time you cross a bridge, each time you pray or speak beside a river." This chapter closes with the sound of receding tide, with the hush that follows thunder, with the first bird song over a world washed clean. And still, the reckoning continues. For after fire and flood, the air itself gathers its strength. The winds remember their own agreements with balance. Currents assemble over warm oceans and vast plains. The atmosphere prepares to lift, carry, and reassign the relics of an age that clung too tightly to its own myths. In our next episode, we enter section 6.3, the storm that carries the past. There, the winds rise as invisible archivists of history. They move through towers and valleys, through vaults and borderlands, through flags and monuments, and they scatter the old world so that new gardens, new maps, and new understandings can take root in places that once felt unreachable.